Hi, this is Joe Ziemba, the host of When Football Was Football here on the Sports History Network. Aside from my podcasting duties, I'm also a sports collector. And as such, I'm very pleased to share the exciting news that the Sports History Network has partnered with Rochester Sports Autographs, the largest JSA authenticated autograph distributor in the United States, where you can get deals on over 30,000 autograph sports collectibles. So as a collector, I was very pleased when I visited the site of Rochester Sports Autographs. The massive inventory is easy to search, carefully documented, and visually appealing. The options seem limitless, whether you're looking for an autographed baseball, signed football helmets, or basketball jerseys, among thousands of others. I found everything from a Babe Ruth autograph, a signed football by Dick Butkus, and an autographed Larry Bird basketball jersey. And as a collector, you'll be delighted with the very competitive pricing on JSA authenticated products. Made possible since RSA deals directly with athletes, so there's no extra markup, and the savings are passed on directly to the customer. Perhaps you're looking for an early gift for Mother's Day or Father's Day. Heck, who needs a holiday as an excuse to give a piece of sports history to your loved ones? Or how about yourself? Today seems like a great day to add to your own sports collection, right? RSA even has film, music, and other entertainment autographs on the site, so there's something for everyone. All orders from Rochester Sports Autographs are top quality and shipped to your door with top authentication and a money-back guarantee. And to make sure RSA knows that the Sports History Network sent you, we created a special link for you. All you need to do is head to shoprsa.com/SHN. That's shoprsa.com/SHN to get your own piece of sports history today.
Now it's time to take a sports break, a look at sports history on a daily basis. Hello, my friends of sports history. This is Darren Hayes of the Sports Jersey Dispatch podcast. Welcome once again to the Pig Pen, your place for all things great in sports history. And welcome to another sports break as we go through the events and people associated in sports with the date of April 19th. And we have quite a lot of people to talk about today and events and milestones in sports history. But before we do, let's just take a step back here and an observation I made. And maybe many of you are making the same thing. What the heck is going on with buying things? Today I went to the snack machine where I work, and I don't go there very often, but I said, I'm a little bit hungry. You got the munchies. I'm going to go buy something. So I go there and I look at the selections, and they all have the numbers on there that you can press in to make sure you pick the right item, but there's not one price there. So I look at it and I say, okay, here's a snack I want. I think this is probably about $1. So I put a dollar bill in the machine, and the machine mocks me. It says, oh, that's not enough. Please add more. I'm like, okay, well, how much more do I add? How much is this thing? So I'm saying, okay, maybe it's a dime more. So I pull some change in my pocket, put a dime in. No, it's still not. The machine keeps mocking me. Why the hell can't they just tell us what the price is of these items anymore? Are they just doing it to mess with us or what? Well, there's my venting for today. Hopefully you don't have the same issue that I have on there, but I'm sure we probably do. And if you do, let's email us at pigskindispatch@gmail.com and we'll talk about it. But a little bit frustrating, isn't it? Just like the stores sometimes aren't even putting the prices on, or you go to the cash register, it's almost like a gamble. You're betting that you have enough in your wallet to what the value of this is that the merchant's going to be charging you. Why can't they just do the old days and put the price tag on or let us know what the heck it's going to cost us? Anyway, something that we do know is we can reflect back and look at some great sports history, and April 19th is filled with it. And our friend Jay Daniel with 80sbaseball.com does a great job every day of capturing some of 80s baseball by date. And April 19th, 1983, he points out that it was a really odd one. Much of the country on this April 19th, we're experiencing some colder temperatures after a really nice weekend a few days ago. Here in Erie, Pennsylvania, we went from 78 degrees on Sunday, and it was snowing on Tuesday. So just craziness. But on April 19th, 1983, it was a beautiful night in Baltimore, and the Orioles and the Rangers played, and the Birds of Baltimore won 4-2. Now, John Lowenstein and Leo Hernandez hit late home runs to win it for the O's, but the game time temperatures were in the 40s with a wind chill of just 10 degrees, and both home runs were hit in a late snowstorm. Sounds real familiar to us today here in middle to late April. And also in 1986 on February 19th, things have gotten a little bit out of control with Marge Schott. Was seen enough that she ordered Dave Parker to wear stirrups lower to conform to the team's dress code. When you ask a great player like Parker to change the way he's wearing his socks, you know things are a little bit strange. But that's the way that things happened there in the 80s, and we thank Jay Daniel for letting us share some of this 80sbaseball.com with you. And on this date in football, we have 1944, April 19th, the 1944 NFL Draft took place, and Angelo Bertelli from the University of Notre Dame was the first pick by the Boston Yanks. Bertelli was the 1943 Heisman Trophy winner, and the Daily News of New York, their sports headline of the day, read, "Boston Yanks pick Bertelli in the grid draft." Now, Bertelli was just a great player all the way around in college, and was a fine player in the professional levels as well. And Pittsburgh and Philadelphia were combined that year to make the Steagles, and they would subsequently pick 5th and 10th in this draft. They've got both of their draft picks, which is kind of an odd thing. The Steelers had to settle for the 10th pick because of the upcoming season. They again would have to combine with another franchise, the Chicago Cardinals, the following year, and because these shortages during World War II. So just a little glimpse back in 1944. There was also a draft in 1997 that took place on April 19th. It was the 97 NFL Draft. First pick in this draft was the St. Louis Rams, and they chose off Ohio State offensive tackle Orlando Pace. Now, Pace, who entered in a Pro Bowl in 2016, was followed later in the draft by the pick of another Hall of Fame tackle in Walter Jones at number 6 by the Seahawks, according to the Pro Football Reference website. And we'll come back to Pigskin Dispatch, talk about some more great Hall of Famers that were born this day. But let's go over into the sports realm and talk about some of the other events that happened on April 19th through history. In 1938, at the legendary venue of the Baker Bowl in Philadelphia, the Phillies infielder Heine Mueller, number 20, and the Brooklyn Dodgers outfielder Ernie Coy, who wore number 33, both hit home runs in their first major league at-bats. And in 1986 on this day, Oakland Athletics pitcher number 38, Jose Rio, set a club record with 16 strikeouts in 8 innings as Oakland defeated the Seattle Mariners 7-2. The two clubs combined for 30 strikeouts overall, setting a modern major league record for a 9-game inning. Now that was courtesy of one of our favorite websites, thisdayinbaseball.com. Make sure you check them out. They have some other great items from April 19th. Another favorite is NBA.com, and we have a few items to share from that website for April 19th. In 1986, the Atlanta Hawks guard number 4, Spud Webb, set an NBA rookie record for assists in a playoff game with 18, as the Hawks defeated the Detroit Pistons 137-125 at the Omni in Game 2 of their Eastern Conference first-round series. April 19th, 1988, the Philadelphia 76ers honored Julius Erving, one of my favorites, prior to a home game against the Bucks, retiring his number 6 uniform and unveiling a larger-than-life Dr. J statue that they're down in Philly. And on this date in 1991, Atlanta's number 2, Moses Malone, set an NBA record for playing in the most consecutive games without fouling out in the Hawks' 126-120 loss to the Pistons at the Omni. It was Malone's 1,046th straight game without disqualification, breaking number 13 Wilt Chamberlain's mark set many years earlier. And we go to vintagehockeyjerseys.com website and to talk a little bit about the NHL history. And on April 19th, 1962, the Leafs defender number 7, Tim Horton, set a Stanley Cup playoff record as the Toronto Maple Leafs 8-4 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks in Game 5 of the finals at the Maple Leaf Gardens. Horton assisted on 3 of Toronto's goals, giving him 15 points, the most ever for a defenseman in one playoff year. Also in the game, Chicago's Stan Mikita, number 21, picked up 2 assists to set 2 new playoff records. His 21 points broke Gordie Howe's record of 20 set in 1955, and his 15 assists also set a new record. And Tim Horton, we up here in the north, we have those great Tim Horton restaurants that he founded, and boy, they have a great cup of coffee there if you ever get a chance to. On April 19th, 1970, number 7, Phil Esposito scored a hat trick against his brother Tony Esposito, number 35, who was playing in the crease that day for the Blackhawks, as the Bruins won 6-3 at Chicago in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, as we said, we have some great Hall of Fame birthdays for this day, and we're going to start off over on Pigskin Dispatch and talk about some of these great football birthdays. In April 19th, 1883, Fort Wayne, Indiana, the top-notch University of Michigan center from 1904 to 1908, playing on those great fielding Yost teams, Germany Schultz was born. National Football Foundation shared that Schultz, who stood 6'4" and weighed 245, unfortunately had to miss the 1906 season as he dropped out of school because of financial reasons. But the passion he had for both his education as well as football drove Germany to work hard in Fort Wayne's steel mill to raise funds to end up paying for his final 2 years of tuition at the university, and he ended up having that same drive on the gridiron as he was elected to go into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1951, and just a tremendous drive by Mr. Germany Schultz to stay in school and at all costs and do what he had to do to make sure he could pay that tuition bill. April 19th, 1907 in Columbus, Ohio, the University of Notre Dame's prolific guard from 1927 to 1929, Jack Cannon, arrived into this life. Jack was one of the last players not to collegiately wear a helmet. In fact, he refused to wear the protective headgear. National Football Foundation's bio excerpt on Cannon says that he had a bad habit of playing hard when he felt like it, but letting his foot off the gas whenever the Irish were well ahead in the game because it was sort of uninteresting to him. Despite that, Coach Newt Rockne was always on his case and kept him going in practices, and he ended up having a great career. And the National Football Foundation selected Jack Cannon for entrance into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1965. We had another Jack in football that had a birthday. This one was born in 1936 on the 19th of April in Exira, Iowa. Jack Pardee, the Texas A&M two-way fullback linebacker, was born. Pardee had enough passion to overcome the odds throughout his life, all the way through his life. And early on, living in a remote part of Texas, Jack's experience with the gridiron was only afforded to the luxury of playing six-man football. And with some hard work and hustle, the youngster soon found his way as a two-way starter for A&M. Now, he had a great and brilliant college career and ended up playing another 7 seasons in the NFL with the Los Angeles Rams and in Washington. And then he went on into coaching. He looked right in the eyes of cancer and not only played while fighting disease, but also coached the Redskins and the Chicago Bears and the teams in the World and U.S. football leagues. He became head coach of the University of Houston in 1987 and that season, and it was his first meeting. He told the players, quote, "There is a time to work and a time to play. Don't miss your chance to do both." End quote. Jack Pardee coached 3 years at the University of Houston and had a record of 22-11-1 and returned to pro football to coach the Houston Oilers. And, great way to look at that. He went into College Football Hall of Fame of 1986, and when the National Football Foundation tallied up their votes. On April 19th, 1964 in Sandy Springs, Georgia, we had another College Football Hall of Famer, Harris Barton, the big offensive tackle of the North Carolina Tar Heels, was born. And he was one of the most dominant linemen on offense in North Carolina history. But he's also a great student. first-team All-American in 1986, Martin was named the ACC's most outstanding offensive lineman after helping the Tar Heels finish 6th in the nation and first in the conference with 436 yards of total offense per game. That's pretty good, folks. Now, he ended up going into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2021, and the highly acclaimed tackle was taken in the first round of the 1987 NFL Draft by the San Francisco 49ers, and subsequently spent his entire career with the franchise from 1987 through 1998. A 1993 Pro Bowler, he led the team in victories in Super Bowl 23 and Super Bowl 24 and in Super Bowl 29. April 19th, 1965, another great College Football Hall of Fame player was born in Little Rock, Arkansas, the sure-handed tight end of the 1984 through 1987 Oklahoma Sooners, Keith Jackson, in his life. Now, Keith had a tremendous time at Oklahoma. The team had a 42-5-1 record and won the national championship in 1985. The career numbers for the big tight end were 62 pass receptions for 1,470 yards with an average of 23.7 yards per catch. And he was a great student in school as well. Ended up being the top 6 award for academics for the NCAA. And he went into the College Football Hall of Fame in the year 2001 and had a very memorable NFL career too, playing with the Philadelphia Eagles, Miami Dolphins, and the Green Bay Packers. One of my favorites, though, was born in 1981 on April 19th in Garden Grove, California. The free-roaming safety of Southern Cal, known as the Tasmanian Devil, Troy Polamalu was born. The National Football Foundation tells us that he was a 2-time first-team All-American, earning consensus honors in 2002, and was a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award as the best defensive back in the nation. Now, one of his top collegiate moments was at the 2001 Las Vegas Bowl, where he set a Las Vegas Bowl record with 20 tackles. Troy led Southern Cal in tackles with 118 as well, and 3 interceptions in 2001 after topping the team in interceptions with 2 and 7 deflections from year 2000. The College Football Hall of Fame proudly put the face and career of Troy Polamalu into the legendary museum in the year 2019, and he ended up being the first-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2003, became the centerpiece of the highly touted Pittsburgh defense during his career, making the opposing quarterbacks account exactly where he was, sort of that wild card. He ended up having 32 receptions while he was in the big league, taking 3 of them back for scores, but his impact of open field tackles, stuffing runners at the line, and pass breakups helped the Steelers win games too. Now, Polamalu was selected to 8 Pro Bowls and named first-team All-Pro 4 times, the 2-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 50 and 53, the 2010 AP Defensive Player of the Year, played for the Steelers from 2003 to 2014. He was enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame with yours truly there in the year 2020, and quite an honor for quite a great player. Couple other birthdays we want to mention. Back on April 19th, 1983, we had Joe Mauer, the legendary Major League Baseball catcher and first baseman, wore number 7 with the Minnesota Twins from 2004 to 2018 for 15 seasons. Batted .306 for his career, had an on-base percentage of .439 with 143 career home runs and 3 Gold Glove awarded seasons. And going back to 80sbaseball.com, they celebrate a couple birthdays. How about Frank Viola, born this day? And Ed Hodge, also played in the 1980s. Rick Miller and Spike Owen. All happy birthdays to them. And, happy birthdays to all those out there that are celebrating April 19th as your birthday and celebrating this great sports history. Boy, we really thank you for spending the time with us, joining us for this little bit of glimpse and a sports break on April 19th to enjoy that great sports history and help preserve it. Let your friends and neighbors know about it. We would appreciate that too. Follow us on Twitter at Pigskin Dispatch and send us some correspondence by email if you'd like. It's pigskindispatch@gmail.com. And until next time, everybody, have a great sports history day. This penalty kill is almost over. I got to get back out on the ice. But thanks again for joining us for another great edition of Sports Jersey Dispatch Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow. We invite you to check out our websites, jerseydispatch.com and pigskindispatch.com. Not only see the daily sports history, but to experience the preservation of great events and people that play the games. Find us on Pigskin Dispatch. It's also on social media outlets of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel. You get all your daily sports history. Pigskin Dispatch is happy to be associated with the Sports History Network, the sports headquarters of yesteryear, found at sportshistorynetwork.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hi, this is Joe Ziemba, the host of When Football Was Football, here on the Sports History Network. I'm very pleased to announce that I will be partnering with the Sports History Network to give away 2 copies of my latest book called Bears vs. Cardinals, the NFL's Oldest Rivalry. To enter, just head over to the following link, sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways. We hope you'll enjoy the numerous stories in the book, which is largely based on the newly released Dutch Sterneman collection at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Dutch was the co-owner of the early Chicago Bears with George Halas and kept correspondence, financial records, and scouting reports, which now allow us to peek into the management of an NFL club during the first few years of the league's existence. Along the way, we'll meet unusual gridiron characters from years gone by, including a quarterback who could throw the ball farther behind his back than he could throwing it forward, a Bears lineman who was such a good tavern fighter that he decided to enter the boxing universe, and a Cardinals halfback who gave up the NFL rushing title by deciding to not show up for his team's final game of the season. And can we forget the time the Al Capone mob interrupted a Bears-Cardinals game? The new book was fun to research, and I hope you will enter our free contest today. Once the winners are selected, we'll be in touch regarding shipping as well as to inscribe the book personally for you. This might make a perfect gift for Mother's or Father's Day, or simply add it to your own personal collection. Once again, enter by visiting sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways. Thank you and good luck.